All right, what's good, my ninjas? Let's talk about Ninja Gaiden 4. So, in this review, I am going to avoid spoilers. There are a couple of like story topics I do want to touch on, but I will avoid any major spoilers that throughout the story. So obviously, just kind of want to go over like the basics on what we get in the game. We get your obvious story mode, challenge mode, which includes chapter select, purgatory select. Purgatories are the basically fiend challenges or tests of valor of this game. If you have a save file. One thing that's a little bit different with Ninja Gaiden 4, similar to Ninja Gaiden 3 versus Ninja in a way, but you have a save file and the progress on that save file stays to that save file. So, if you want to do your trials, challenges, you have to load whatever, save file you want to play with. And then from there, you can choose, whatever you want to do. I haven't really engaged with the combat trials yet. I really kind of want to finish my Master Ninja playthrough, which I'll talk about in just a moment, but I just started it. I went through all of these on hero mode really fast, just sped run them because you get like a secret weapon essentially. I'll try not to spoil it, but you get a secret weapon if you complete all these. So I sped ran it, sped ran it, whatever you want to call it, as fast as possible, just so I could get it. Now, pretty typical. I would like to see, I'm really hoping the DLC has some sort of expansion that expands on this a little bit more. Obviously, like boss replays and 18 trials is a good amount of mission mode. It's really going to be contingent on like what these turn into. A lot of combat trials or mission mode in NG can be kind of just bullshit. So I'm hoping we don't get into straight bullshit territory, but I can tell you it's a fucking hell of a lot better than already, just off of like what I'm seeing, than Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Chapter select, you can replay the game as Ryu or Yakumo. I don't want to click on that. You can replay the game as Ryu or Yakumo. Again, once we get more weapons for you, I might do like a chapter select playthrough with you, but for now it's just strictly story mode. So how is the story mode sectioned out? First of all, let's talk a little bit about story and like what's going on. So essentially, back in Ninja Gaiden Black, Ryu, it talks about how Ryu's ancestors sealed the Dark Dragon, using the Dark Dragon Blade essentially. And different fiends have tried to resurrect the Dark Dragon or whatever, I guess like archfiends or greater fiends try to do that. Now Ryu, we learned in this game that the reason like it's never been killed, like the Hayabusa clan can seal it, but they cannot actually kill the Dark Dragon. Ryu says a line where he's like, no matter how many times I kill it, it'll just keep coming back to life. Yakumo's bloodline, they are descendants of the Dark Dragon. They are the only ones that can actually, kill it for good, instead of just like kill it and then wait a couple years and it'll resurrect, or wait until, somebody resurrects it or whatever. We see this kind of similar thing with like archfiends or greater fiends, like in Ninja Gaiden 2, like they can only be killed in hell. So there's clearly like weird restrictions on what can kill different gods. I mean, it's a dragon god. It's literally listed to be like a divine being. Yakumo's bloodline is a descendant of it. Ryu's bloodline is a descendant of some other fiend. I'm not really sure exactly if that's like really explained in Ninja Gaiden Black, like completely who he's a descendant of. But humans are descendants of fiends, and the dragon god, the dark dragon, is like the lowest dragon. I think they said that it's the lowest dragon to set up like a potential future game with the bigger dragon or whatever. But anyway, so Yakumo has to go kill this fucking dragon. And like I've seen people upset, like, oh, Ryu can't do it, so why can Yakumo? It's not that Ryu can't. Like Ryu is clearly strong enough to physically like cut him in half and kill it. It'll just it's a temporary solution, which is why Ryu decided to seal it with the Dark Dragon Order, because sealing the dragon, should theoretically prevent it from being resurrected. However, that creates, its own problems with like the miasma that's encircling Tokyo. So you're on a mission with Yakumo to go do it. So, I thought the story was fine. you know, like I've seen people. I think like one big thing about it is you really need to play it in Japanese. I'm not a fan typically of watching things in a language I can't understand. However, Yakumo's English voice actor kind of sucks. And like his character comes off very different. He's kind of supposed to come off as like a, you know, I don't really give a fuck, I'm just about my mission behavior. However, in English, he's like, I don't know, the voice actor just doesn't work. He's like, whatever, I don't care, instead of like doki or like whatever, you know, that you hear in like Japanese. So like I like Yakumo's character. He's very chill. I honestly expected Yakumo to be very over the top, like a complete contrast to Ryu, where he would be super like edgy and you know whatever, and like kind of like flamboyant in a way or something, but he's not at all. He's just super fucking chill, very similar to Ryu. However, his English voice acting just comes across in a shitty way, so watch it in Japanese, he's good. He's a great character in my opinion. He's cool, he's chill, he doesn't really do much, he just cuts shit up. That's like all he's like, you know, I gotta complete my mission. That's what a ninja does. No good, no evil, I just do what I do. A lot of the stories, you know, super generic Ninja Gaiden, where it's just like, oh, you gotta go, you know, kind of like Ninja Gaiden 2, you gotta go kill the 3 things so you can fight the big thing, and that's about it. However, the last couple chapters, I think the story gets really good. It's just unfortunate. I think a lot of people kind of tuned out by then because it's just kind of like generic and boring until then. You know, Ryu has spent 10 years playing Captain Sabaho, so of course there is a section of the game where Yakumo has to play Captain Sabaho as well. And that's just, you know, whatever. But the end, like everything with like Achilles and Shiori, I don't want to like explain it, and like, you know, the ending with Ryu, I thought that was like really well done. The Shiori moment really like shocked and like upset me in a way. I was like, God, are you serious? But you know, it is what it is. Now let's talk about the important thing. Does this game play like a Ninja Gaiden game? And how is Yakumo? And the answer is yes, it plays like a fucking Ninja Gaiden game. And Yakumo is incredibly dope to play as. He is a ton of fucking fun. So, you know, you basically get 4 weapons. You technically get 5, but I don't want to talk too much about that because it's kind of spoiler territory. You get 4 weapons. His dual sword, which I think is the best dual sword in Ninja Gaiden. I've never been a fan of the dual swords that Ryu gets, really. So I really do appreciate that these are really fun to use. At first I was like, fuck man, dual swords, that's like one of my least favorite weapon types. But it's a really cool weapon. You get the rapier, and I'm going to do, right after this video, I'm going to do a combat guide, at least like a basics combat guide. You get the lunar staff, essentially, and then you get the ninja box. Now, the ninja box is a cool weapon because it has like a bunch of different weapons in it. So you have Tonfa, and different strings will pull out different weapon parts. Then you have like a nunchuck. You have grenades. You have shuriken. You have claws too, so you can... I didn't mean to execute this dude, but you have claws. God, this guy's still living way too fast. You have claws. And then you have this weird, like... I don't even know, like... flail, I guess? And then, of course, the shuriken and grenades, which is, it's a really fucking cool weapon, and it essentially, like, it's a great concept, because usually dealing with ranged enemies in Ninja Gaiden kind of sucks. Like, the bow kind of sucks. Like, let's be real. The IS shuriken were fun, but pretty much everything other than that, dealing with ranged enemies, was just trash. Here, you get fucking grenades, windmill shuriken, and then your Blood Raven form of it is super, super dope. So, you know, I really do love this weapon. There's a ton of shit you can do with it. Now, let's talk about the flow of combat. So, this game, I played it twice on hard. My first run was on hard, and then I did a second run on hard, basically to, like, because I only had, like, 5 of the 10 health upgrades or something. and like missed a bunch of other collectibles, and I really didn't want to like go into Master Ninja off of just like, you know, one run and missing things. So I went back and, you know, collected everything. And I just completed chapter 1 on Master Ninja. I at least wanted to get a taste of Master Ninja before this review. The combat flow in this game, and the NG2 crowd's gonna be like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, but the combat flow in this game is more similar to Ninja Gaiden 2 than any other Ninja Gaiden game. Obviously, it still plays significantly different, but how can it be like very similar but different? Well, let's talk about that. So in this game, it's hellbent aggression. Everything is all about just hellbent aggression. You have enemies, there's a ton of enemies on the screen. All of them are extremely aggressive. There's ranged enemies that are pelting you with rockets and bullets, and on Master Ninja especially, you get like these windmill shuriken, like lightning mages, and like all sorts of wild shit. You need to be extremely aggressive and prioritizing who you're taking out, just like Ninja Gaiden 2. Shit, there's a mage, you better target the mage. Well, it's not a physical actual mage, but there's an enemy that acts like a mage in this game that you need to be aware of. There's constant, like, explosions and lightning on the ground and shit like this where you need to be abusing iframes. Also, like Ninja Gaiden 2, D-limbs are very fast, so it can be advantageous to keep somebody on the ground for a quick D-limb, or keep his arm missing for a quick D-limb if you need iframes. Also, like, especially on Master Ninja, I am like spamming guillotine throws and flying swallows just because like you're getting pelted. Like, you have fucking 10 dudes, 8 dudes that are surrounding you just trying to fucking kill you. Guillotine throws are great to get iframes, they're great to get people out of your face. So, you know, the combat flow of like, oh shit, D-limb, OT, D-limb, OT, fucking GT, GT, iframes, blah blah blah, oh shit, UT. Ninja Gaiden 2 is the game that plays like this, and you can tell they took a lot of like influence from the combat flow of Ninja Gaiden 2. However, unlike Ninja Gaiden 2, enemies like just have like hellbent aggression with like unique things, whatever their unique weapons and mechanics are, instead of just getting pelted with fucking incendiary shuriken or gargoyles that are shooting like their little, like, you know, breath fireball attack at you. So there's a lot more to deal with, and you're not getting, you know, the challenge isn't from 15 IS being stuck into you and you have to like wind path over and over and over and over or whatever. You're still creating those iframes, but it's for, you know, a myriad of different like situations. So it's just hellbent aggression, but you have to also play defensively, especially on Master Ninja. You can't, on hard and normal, you can kind of get away with like spamming a little bit. On Master Ninja, you can't. If you just start trying to like spam attacks, you're gonna get shit on. You're gonna get wrecked, and there's just no way around it. So you have to be defensively. Well, what about perfect blocks and perfect dodges? Doesn't that just trivialize this? Like, no, it doesn't. Like, they are tools that definitely help, but you can't just spam and then perfect dodge out of anything. You can see you can't just like, I don't want to be targeting this guy. You can't just like cancel out of any attack. That's what people are like worried about. Like, your attack string has to finish before you can dodge. Blocking is very similar. Like, you need to finish your string or like shuriken cancel. However, with Yakumo, shuriken canceling kind of sucks because he uses both hands and throws multiple shuriken. So that makes shuriken canceling like longer and not quite as good as it is with Ryu. Ryu still has this traditional shuriken cancel. Yakumo does have Blood Raven cancel, so there's a lot of attacks like this, for instance, where there's these directional forward down or back forward inputs and rotate Y inputs that have really long recovery. Like, I'm mashing the attack, so I'm doing my input now. I'm doing my rotate Y input and I'm mashing X this whole time. That's how long it takes. But you can kind of shuriken and get into it a little bit faster. But you can Blood Raven and come right out of it. So Blood Raven canceling is very, very strong, and a lot of these like long attacks that have big like recovery animations, you either need to shuriken or even better yet, you want a Blood Raven out of it. So Blood Raven is basically Yakumo's ninjutsu, and I fucking love the way they did it. It's honestly a lot better than Nimpo. Like Nimpo is just, you know, you press the button and the Nimpo happens, bro. Blood Raven is like an integral part of the gameplay. First of all, like it's very good. There's the red attacks. It's very similar to like a burst counter in Neo. This game is very similar to Neo in a lot of ways. It's very similar to the burst counter in Neo, where they'll do a red attack and you have to bust out your Blood Raven attack to like burst counter them to interrupt them. Also, like the D-limbs on it is very strong. So, you know, especially again on Master Ninja, learning when to use like your charged versions to get good D-limbs is very, very important. They all have aerial options as well. So like there's times where shit, you're getting swarmed, there's like a red attack on the ground that's a big ass AoE. Like, you know, using these can fucking save you. Like very, very, very strong, because it gets you essentially like off of the ground and airborne. Unlike previous Ninja Gaidens, being in the air isn't free. It's very dangerous to be in the air because enemies will still jump at you, they'll throw shit at you, they'll shoot you. You can block in air and you can actually dash in air. The hardest like thing to learn for me is learning how to like, you know, dash and perfect evade in air, because you'll start getting like comboed in air and you have to fucking do something about it. Also, enemies will start blocking in air and you need a Blood Raven to interrupt them, and that's been something I've like struggled to do well, because you're in the middle of an area combo, he starts blocking, you have like a second to get your Blood Raven attack out. And I'm gonna go over like the more specifics of some of this stuff like in my combat review. This isn't a combat review. I don't know, for a lot of people combat's or it's not a combat guide, but I know the combat's important. But my point is this plays like Ninja Gaiden. It's just you have extra mechanics. And Yakumo, it's faster. It's insanely faster. But like you're not with bosses, utilizing perfect blocks and parries is kind of like crucial, and it can kind of trivialize a lot of bosses. But when you're in combat, like your perfect blocks and perfect dodges are just saving you from death sometimes. It's not trivializing the game, and it's not ruining like position and strategy at all. Like I said, I'm constantly guillotine throwing motherfuckers. I'm constantly like getting a D-limb and then saving that dude for when I'm going to need it. It plays just like Ninja Gaiden. And it's fucking great. Like Yakumo is fucking great. This is like, once I heard there was a new protagonist, like this game gave me everything I wanted out of the combat, like 100%. Ryu is a monster in this game. He is just a fucking beast and very overpowered and very strong. His movement is different than Yakumo's. His, you know, the tech, like some of the canceling tech and stuff, is a lot different than Yakumo's. I really, really hope that the DLC fleshes him out both content-wise and weapon-wise. You know, if he can get 3 more weapons, so he has 4 weapons, and I hope it's like an expansion or even a mission mode that's similar to like Eternal Legends, something to use this on. That's like a Ryu specific type of story, because we have plenty of Yakumo content. And the one weapon thing, like once I heard that, I knew Ryu wasn't going to be a big part of it, the story. And for like a single playthrough, Ryu having the Dragon Sword only really doesn't matter, because it's like 3 chapters. So, you know, they basically section the game off to where you get 4 weapons. That's basically like 4 chapters per weapon, and then Ryu's single katana you get for 4 chapters. So in the game of like, you know, if you're thinking about it in terms of the story mode, as 1 weapon makes sense and is fine. When you think about it in terms of somebody who wants to like really dig into the game and have a ton of replayability, it sucks. But again, you know, when Xbox funds your game. They're gonna milk DLCs. They're going to milk expansions. That's just how Xbox works, and it sucks. Koei Tecmo also is, you know, been very, very big. I mean, the Neo Deluxe Edition's like $110. They've been very big on expansions, but it's been successful for them, and people always love it. So, like, you know, that combined with Microsoft fucking funding it, like, there's nothing you can do about it. But the game has plenty of content to dig into at the moment, as long as you are, you know, not negative about Yakumo. And there's no reason to be negative about Yakumo, because he is fucking a ton of fun to play. His combat is absolutely incredible, and this is probably the most hectic, aggressive, just balls to the wall Ninja Gaiden game there is, like, without a doubt. There's really nothing like it. It has some sections that are like arguably my favorite sections in all of Ninja Gaiden. That's just like how good they are. Parts of the game I don't like are, you know, there's a few like combat things. I don't like his shurikens, the way his shurikens work. That kind of like bugs me, but it's also not a big deal because like you have Blood Raven cancels instead. Enemy design was actually phenomenal in this game, both visually and like just in terms of variety. There's a ton of enemy variety. There is a point in the game where it again, it's very Ninja Gaiden 2-ish, or like Ninja Gaiden Black when you're in the catacombs, where you have like 2 or 3 chapters with just hundreds of zombies, and the zombies aren't fun. That's like the one enemy type in the game that isn't aggressive, that doesn't really do anything. And they're pretty fucking boring to fight, and there's just like hundreds. Like you literally have like 40 of them on your screen at a time, and there'll be like 5 waves. Like you literally get like a couple hundred of them, and it's like, bro, like I don't want to fight these fucking things anymore. And that shit drags on way too long. My second run, I didn't care about exploring, and I just did a speed run of that part, and it was bad. But other than that, like, that's really the only part of the game that I didn't enjoy. The enemy variety, the demons, there's demons and fiends. The demons are fucking dope. It's very Neo-esque, so there's a lot of Neo influence in this game. Like, there's a lot of Neo influence in this game, and you can really see it with a lot of the enemy designs and how a lot of the demons fight in particular. It's just, I don't like the zombies, and the zombie section in general just wasn't very fun. The area looks cool and all, but for 3 chapters it's just like the same. It's the only part of the game where it's like the same shitty aesthetic for a long time, combined with like enemies I didn't like. That was like part of the game I didn't really enjoy. And the boss, it's one of the worst bosses in the game. But after that, it like picks back up. So there's a couple like boring chapters, but that's every NG. Like NG2 has a bunch of like boring, sloggy chapters. Even Ninja Gaiden Black, like I said, the entire like catacombs just sucks. It's just zombie after zombie, and they're not fun to fight. So, you know, I don't like that part, but it is what it is. However, the parts before that, like the mountain, is dope. The first run through Sky City, Tokyo was dope. When you're raiding the Dark Dragon Order's headquarters is fucking like phenomenal. That's some of my favorite Ninja Gaiden ever. So like it's a very good game, and there's very few lows, and there's way more like highs than there are lows. Bosses are also really cool. Some of them, the game is balanced extremely well. They did a very good job on balancing. However, bosses are super like hit or miss with this. Like there's one boss you fight named Achilles, who is like, he should be fucking hard as shit, but he was way too easy. Doing a replay fighting the Neo boss, like I've seen people call it the Neo boss, the chapter 3 boss, your first like major boss, she feels too easy. I haven't fought them on Master Ninjas, so maybe they get new mechanics and change things up. But I feel like some of the bosses could be harder. The like true final boss is a dope boss. Obviously, like the Ryu fight is hard and dope. So I really do like the bosses, which is very unique for Ninja Gaiden, because bosses in Ninja Gaiden usually suck, but the bosses do not suck. And again, like, I just want to reiterate on the combat side, this game plays like fucking Ninja Gaiden. Like, if anybody tries telling you it's more NGR than Ninja Gaiden, or they're either fucking retarded, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're just lying to feel cool with their shitty little friends that all fucking say the same thing. And like, I've seen these guys, they just refuse to give it a chance. And the Ninja Gaiden 2 crowd should love this. Like, this game gives you all of the highs that only NG2 can give you, in terms of just like aggression and like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do? Shit, like you're just split second reacting, guillotine throws, D-limbs, OTs, GTs, UTs, like it's fucking sick, dude, and it's so like balls to the wall, just hectic. This should be like a Ninja Gaiden 2 fan's wet dream, but the NG2 fans are the ones that hate it the most, and I just like, that's how I know they're not honest, because this thing, it hits all of like the best parts of NG2. It's just, you know, Yakumo instead of Ryu, but Yakumo still is a Ninja Gaiden character. He's just not Ryu. You don't have to play identical to Ryu to be a Ninja Gaiden character. And the game doesn't change fundamentally when you switch to Ryu. Like, I've seen the comments too of, well, Ryu plays like NG, but not Yakumo. Like, what do you mean? The game doesn't change when you switch to Ryu. You're still playing exactly the same way. The only difference is you don't have Blood Raven attacks. You have Gleam attacks. And, you know, I see people upset Yakumo gets the Dark Dragon Blade. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I am. I don't know. That didn't upset me. People are mad it has the same, like, moveset as Ryu, but again, that didn't like bother me. I was just like, oh, fucking dope. You get, like, look at how cool this is. The one thing I thought Yakumo was missing was a single sword and a great sword, and this like combines the two. So it wasn't until, like, I don't know, people think it's disrespectful to Ryu, and like, I don't know, man, I don't really understand that. I guess, like, if you really think like this ruined Ryu's character because there's like no point of playing Ryu, then like I guess like that it sucks, but I don't really have that feeling, I guess. Because I don't know, if Ryu doesn't get like 3 more good weapons to play with and some sort of like expansion content, like I probably will feel that way. But, you know, it's 2025, and we have to wait for the game to give us everything that it can give us. And Team Ninja has, like, never failed with that before. Like, the only time they did was Rise of the Ronin, where they just didn't do it at all. So, I'm gonna have faith that it's going to be on par with Nioh 2, and even Wolong. And the expansion content is going to be some of the best content in the game, and just make it better. And, you know, Yakumo doesn't need anything else, so I think it's very safe to say that that expansion content is going to focus on Ryu. Just, there's nothing we can do about it. It sucks. I would love to have that shit right now, but again, it's 2025, it's what Koei Tecmo does, and it's what fucking Microsoft, with Microsoft funding it, there's no way around it. So like, you can let it ruin your experience, or you can enjoy the incredible combat that this game has to offer. Like, yeah, I don't like it either, but I don't understand like being so mad about it that you're gonna let it ruin your ability to enjoy this game. And that's just, I don't know, sad to me. But I don't want to ramble on for too long. But art direction, great. Music, very hit or miss. Some of the music I like, some I think is fucking terrible. But it is what it is. You know, everybody's gonna have different music tastes, so I'm sure other people will like it. I'm sure the DMC crowd will fucking love it, just not my thing. But yeah, combat's great. It is Ninja Gaiden. It's 100% Ninja Gaiden. Master Ninja is hard as fuck. Even on New Game Plus, I can't imagine what a fresh save's gonna be like. It's gonna take a lot of practice to get to the point of being able to do fresh save Master Ninjas, and being able to do the Death Wish Master Ninjas, that is going to probably take hundreds of hours of practice to really be good enough to do. I will do another full review once everything comes out and once I've completed all like the mission mode and actually finished Master Ninja. But I did want to talk about it because the discourse around it is just so bad and so dishonest a lot of the time. Even people, like, I've seen people like say they enjoy Yakumo, but he's not Ninja Gaiden, which is just so fucking dumb. Like you play Ninja Gaiden, dude. You're fucking, like, it's like I've explained this ad nauseum already, but you're aggressive, you're D-limbing, you're OT, you're getting iframes using GTs and OTs, and fucking UTs are very important. On-landing UTs are very important. There's a ton of Ninja Gaiden identity. Like, just because you have Blood Raven attacks and perfect dodges, it doesn't ruin the game. And Ryu has basically all that shit too, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's a great game. I'm super happy with it. It's like exactly what I wanted. Super fast-paced, balls to the wall, hardcore action, and it's what we got. I like what they did with Yakumo. I like his design. Again, the people calling him a little faggot twink, I don't think they like know what that means. He has a very like traditional ninja design. Ryu honestly looks gayer a lot of the times because he's wearing a gimp suit. Like, I'm gonna switch to you right now. Like, when I play Ryu, I never wear the black falchion because it looks pretty gay. Skinny doesn't mean like twink, and I'm not calling Ryu gay. Like, Ryu has a lot of sick costumes. Like, I love the traditional blue and like the DOA costume from NGB. Like, he has a lot of shit that's really fucking dope. So I'm not saying a lot of his NG2 costumes were fucking sick. His shirtless in NG3 is sick. I've never liked the Black Falchion. But Yakumo's designs are all really cool in my opinion. He has the only one I don't really like is like the dragon one with the tail, but all of it, he has a traditional hakama, and then like his top is a gi, which is like very ninja-ish, so I don't really understand the hate on that, I guess. But yeah, it's a really good game. Really not a lot that really bothers me other than some sections that are kind of boring with shitty enemy types, and that's really like it. I don't really like the way his shurikens work. At the beginning, I felt like I was taking damage for no reason, and that really upset me. I was like, why am I fucking taking damage? But I haven't had that problem anymore. I think a lot of it is learning how to deal with ranged enemies because you don't really get feedback when you're getting pelted with bullets a lot of the time. So you kind of have to like target, again, just like NG2, you have to target the ranged guys super quickly and take them out. But yeah, it's a great game. As a Ninja Gaiden fan, I am very happy with it. My only like complaints and hopes is that we get Ryu fleshed out, because if we have, Yakumo is fucking incredible. Like, he's incredible to play as. If we can get Ryu on the same level where he gets, you know, the scythe, the claws, the flails, something like this, where you have a bunch of tech and variety and depth to explore with him as well, there's going to be a ridiculous amount of fucking replayability and content in this game. I really hope they don't drop the ball on that, because that's ultimately going to be what seals the deal on this being like arguably the best Ninja Gaiden ever, or something with potential to be the best Ninja Gaiden but just fell short. So I really hope they don't make the mistake of falling short and disappointing fans with what Ryu brings to the table. Again, I'm not super like upset about it yet, because, you know, I know it's DLC, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, all we can do is wait, and I'm gonna save my judgment on this until we get that DLC. And that's going to kind of make or break on how my final feelings and opinions on this game are. But it's just premature to judge. Like, we don't have the full package yet, so I can't say either way. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you're a Ninja Gaiden fan, play it. If you're an action game fan, play it. If you're a Sekiro fan, don't play it. This isn't like Sekiro just because there's a perfect block. I've seen some like Sekiro people on YouTube trying to play, and they're just getting shit on. But if you are a Sekiro fan and you want to play it, don't play it like Sekiro. It is not Sekiro. A perfect block doesn't make it Sekiro. Maybe you can play on normal and get away playing like shit like that, but if you try to like actually get good at the game, you have to learn about crowd control, positioning, iframes, blah 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 blah. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.